I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have some work that I had to get to.
Oh, hello, and welcome to another episode of Work Hardaholics. This is Shirley Crawford, the owner of Second Chance Consulting and the executive director of the Women's Business Center RVA, coming to you from the Women's Business Center on another happy Sunday afternoon. Alrighty, for those of you who don't know and haven't come to see us, we are located at 1510 Willow Drive, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow. Right now, everyone's in the Christmas mood, doing some shopping, a lot of activity happening out there with you all. So I'm just going to help you all quickly and share what I have to share, and then we're going to move along and do our own celebrating, or in my case, a little bit of resting. So, for those of you who join us for the first time and don't know what a WorkHardAholic is, well, let me tell you. A WorkHardAholic is someone who is always doing something. We don't rest on our laurels. We don't just sit back. Vacation means we blocked it, but that doesn't mean we're just going to sit around and sleep all day. Although right now that does sound lovely. It does. But overall, we like to make things happen. And so for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome. Bienvenido. We're glad to have you. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back to your tribe. Here you don't have to justify the fact that you too might be in your office on a Sunday afternoon. We understand. And so we'll start, as we always do, with my favorite thing, which are words. And so the word for the day, the word for the week, for those of you who have corrected me in the past, the word for the week, I will say I pronounce it one way, and apparently there are lots of other pronunciations. I prefer Eupsychian. That's right, say that 5 times fast. Eupsychian. But most of you apparently like to say Eupsychian. Not my favorite pronunciation. But whichever way you choose, make sure you let people know that you do know that there's a different pronunciation. But if you're like me, I prefer my own. Plus, really, who's using the word in the first place? Just geeks like us. That's it. We're the only ones. So we can say it to each other whichever way we want to. So I'm sticking with Eupsychian. And what it really means, it's a term that was created by Abraham Maslow, Dr. Maslow, who I'm a big fan of, even though, he's long gone. Because I'm a big fan of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And it's one of the things that I often quote, especially when I'm dealing with a client who's dealing with employees. And they're like, well, I'm giving them money, I'm giving them this, but they're not satisfied. And I'm like, well, have you considered that they might be on a different tier on Maslow's hierarchy of needs? And it's a really fundamental concept that you should look up, because that's not what we're talking about today. I'm just telling you why I like Dr. Maslow. So this particular book, once again, it's Dr. Maslow, so it's a little, I haven't got to the book. Oops, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just on the vocabulary word. Eupsychian, or Eupsychian, whichever one you choose. And really it means an idealized mental state. So if you think about utopia, which we did a utopian project eons ago, like when I was in high school. I went to that kind of a high school where we actually did a project on utopian societies, and we determined that socialist societies are the closest. Sorry, that's a sidebar. Don't write me about that. I'm just sharing you with what our studies showed. Outside of that lovely detail, Dr. Maslow, who coined the term. That means it's his word. He made it up. And one day I too hope to be quoted and say, well, Dr. Crawford created this term, blah, 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 like WorkHardAholics. See, I'm working on it. I'm not quite Dr. Maslow. Not quite. Okay. So he came up with that term, and he also wrote a book about it, but I'm not jumping to book it. I'm going to get to book it in just a second. I actually want to give you your time tool technique first before I get into the book, before we get to the book it moment. So your time tool technique, and I'm kind of tying it into the whole idea of Eupsychian living. And so with this whole concept, long before we thought, industrial organization psychology was a real thing. So now so many of us are doing it every day. We don't realize that it was an actual movement. We thought differently about how we interacted with one another. We thought differently about what the expectations were. We thought differently about the fact that when you came to work, you were at work and we didn't care about what happened to you before that. There wasn't a lot of social pieces involved in the job. The job was you check in, you do your job, and then you go home, and then you deal with the rest of your life that you probably left to crumble. And so since we've incorporated lots of social psychology, like Dr. Maslow and others, into how we treat our employees, the type of work environments that we create, and realize people are more productive, we've also come up with more tools or more productivity tools in general. And so one of the ones I want to share, you're probably using it, hopefully, Evernote as a productivity tool. Because our lives are so full. Like right now, she doesn't know, but I dragged my mother. Wave hello, mother. That's my mama. Okay, I dragged my mother into the office with me because after church, she wants to go do some things. And I needed to come here first because I had to spend this time with you all. So with that in mind, we're responsible for a whole lot more than just your 9 to 5, normal responsibilities. And so it helps to have software, apps, tools, journals, all kinds of things to help you keep things, I feel like Madonna and Janet Jackson mixed together, that'll help you keep in order. So Evernote is a great tool, and you can use the free version. I'm all about the free version. And then you can upgrade to the premium if you like more things, or if you want to share it amongst your team. So Google has Teams now. I also actually like Wunderlist. I probably prefer Wunderlist, but I'm not sure how long I'm going to prefer it. So Microsoft now owns Wunderlist. And so as of May 2020, they're going to they're creating what's called Microsoft To Do. And they say it's going to be a simple transition, but check back with me in June, and I'll tell you how I feel about that. All right. So that's your time tool technique. Utilize lists. I often do things in Excel, but it's much more helpful when you can actually have the software where you can put in, especially when you're dealing with teams, it's much more helpful to be able to say due dates and timelines and who's working on what and what's the status and all that good stuff. All right, so then now I'm going to officially transition to our bucket moment. And I've already kind of given you a hint, if you didn't know. My book for this week is Eupsychian Management. See, I said it the way they said it. Eupsychian Management. Or Eupsychian. Once again, up to you. Who do you know who read this book other than me? Nobody. Say it whatever way you want to. So the great thing about this is that, like I said, it's all about the best possible mental state. And it's kind of cool and weird all at the same time. This is where my geek moments really start to show. So the whole thing is that Maslow is talking about if you could have an idealized society, right, like a utopia, but specifically in regards to business. Now, admittedly, it was written 1965, I think. Yeah. So some of it might have changed. Some might be updated. But my whole thought process is when you're learning, and especially when you're working with others, it's best for you to understand where these theories are coming from. So someone else is quoting to you, or they're sharing a theory with you, and more than likely it's based on one of these theories. It's like whenever you do a personality test, you have to know they're all Jungian, right? They're all based off of the same 16 types that Jung came up with eons ago. So I don't care if they're telling you about, are you sanguine? Are you a peacock? Which, I'm an owl, by the way. I'm also INTJ. So they're all based on the same thing. So DISC, all those personality tests are all based on the same thing. So in this case, a lot of your studies that are happening in your workplace, like emotional intelligence, etc., all come from here. So go read it for yourself. All right, so time is moving. Wow. All right, so I want to talk quickly about our work hard, play harder moment. Right now, I don't know what it is when you see this, but right now, for me, it's Sunday afternoon. It's the week of Christmas. Feliz Navidad. And so that's what's happening now. And a lot of you are running around doing all kinds of things. I know that I am.
I had a hot concert for a friend while I was at work. We had, we had church with my first lady, had an event there. There's service, our dancers had to dance. Stuff we have to do in this step. We're all doing for New Year's. There are parties and events and socials and obligations, and you still have to work. There's a lot going on.
So, in the midst of all this, I just want to say, make sure you maintain your balance. Maintain your balance. When I leave here, although it's only 3:11, I'm going to run some errands with my mother, which is why she's here with me. And then I'm going to bed. I don't care if I sound like someone's grandma because I'm going to go to bed at 5 o'clock. I don't have to care. I need it. I need a nap. I need some rest. I need a vacation. And so that's coming. I don't know when, but soon. All right, in the meantime, as I always say, live better, do better, be better, and happy entrepreneuring. Ta-ta. And Merry Christmas.
Because I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have some work that I had to get to. Da-da-da-da-da-da.